Hey guys, Brianna Houts here with the Lee County Extension Office. I'm so excited to be back in your classroom for the month of November for our next Pick a Better snack. I'm so excited for this month, one of my favorites. So I'm excited to share that with you guys. But speaking of not being with you for the last month, what did we talk about last month? Yes, we did apples. That's awesome. I'm so glad you guys remembered. I hope you guys enjoyed your apples from Appleberry Orchard. We want to thank Miss Jessica for helping us get those. So we are excited to be able to do that for you. Also, I hope you guys were able to try those at home. I love apples. So hopefully you guys were able to enjoy it while you had it. And we're going to go ahead and switch gears, and we're going to start on our next month for November here, our taste test. Now, we had a fruit last month, so we're down to a vegetable this month. One of my favorite vegetables looks like this. Nope, not quite. If you think it's lettuce, it's not. This is called cabbage. It looks very similar to lettuce. So, this is a fun vegetable that I love to make up during the summer, especially. We do a lot of this in our household. My kids love it. So, we are going to talk about the family that the cabbage is in, and it is called the Brassica family. Now, there's lots of different things in the Brassica family. Of course, we talked about local foods is what we've been talking about here lately. Cabbage is one of those things that you can get about anywhere, and especially fresh out of the garden at farmers markets. A lot of times some of your stores, grocery stores will have fresh brought in cabbage, things like that. So that's one of the easy local ones that we can actually get here in Iowa. You can even grow it in your own backyard if you would like to. Now, I've got a picture here of what is included in the Brassica family. Now, all families are special. This one is the same way. Are they the same or different, all of them? Yeah, there's lots of different ones here. We've got broccoli, we've got cauliflower, we've got Brussels sprouts, we've got cabbage, radishes, Napa cabbage, kale, rutabagas, kohlrabi, mustard greens, collard greens, and turnips. Now, each of your teachers has one of these pictures, but if you would like, I'm going to ask some questions, and then your teachers can pause the video and talk with you about these, but your teacher might take this out and show you as you guys are talking through this, but this is one thing that you can use for sure. Now, how can you tell some of these plants are in the same family? That's one of the questions I have for you guys, and you guys can definitely pause the video to talk about these, but I've got a couple more questions that I'm going to ask you, and then you can pause them and talk about it as a class. Look at the parts of the plant. Can you see the stems, leaves, all the other parts of the plant that we talked about last time? How do they look the same or different? How are these all different? How are these the same? That's another question for you guys. Now, do you think all members of the Brassica family taste the same? What do you think? All right, you guys can pause the video and talk about these if you would like. All right, I hope you guys had some interesting conversations. We're going to kind of go over these. We've got how many of these family members do we have of the Brassica family? We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We've got 12 of them. Yeah, that's quite a bit. There are probably more out there. Just these are some of the more common ones of the Brassica family that you may know. Now, some of these you may not know, and that's okay. But these are all in the same family of vegetables. All right. Now, why cabbage? What about it? Now, cabbage, we eat cabbage because it has vitamin C. So it's got our defense shield. Put our defense shield up. It helps keep us immune, it keeps our immunity up and keeps us from getting sick. So that's one good thing about cabbage. Also, it has anti-cancer phytochemicals. So it kind of helps us fight off cancer a little bit. So those are good things as well. Now, facts about cabbage. Cabbage is in season from mid-June to October. So we're just getting on the very end of when cabbage is good. So we caught it in time. Now, cabbage, this thing, is in the Brassica plant family, and they grow right on top of the ground. So there'll be a stem that goes into the ground, and then you have the roots that come out. And then, of course, we've got our leaves on the inside as it grows together. Now, they are also called cruciferous vegetables due to the cross formation of their flower petals. So they'll have like a cross looking thing on their flowers when their flowers come out. So where is cabbage grown? Well, cabbage is grown in the U.S. 78% of the cabbage that is grown is usually grown in Texas, New York, Florida, California, or Wisconsin. So you can find these also in Iowa as well because they are grown in our area. I usually have some in my garden, as well as you can pick these up at farmers markets or supermarkets as well. Now, cabbage heads, they come in a variety of colors and shapes. They are also could be flat, pointed, or globular. And our colors that they can be, of course, are the green. They can be a gray-green color or a red, almost purple color. Now, how do we pick out the best cabbage to eat? Well, that's easy. So, when you are looking for cabbages, what you're going to do is you're going to look for, when you pick it up, a cabbage that is heavy. This one's quite heavy. I would say it's around 3 to 5 pounds probably of cabbage. That's pretty heavy as far as it's getting heavy for me here to hold. Now, you also want to look for one that is crisp. So crisp means it's crunchy, as well as it is a hard cabbage head. Like you can't push in on it and it's not going to go anywhere. It's going to stay in that position. That means it's good. Also, you're going to want to look for one with not a lot of black on it or dirt or openings in the leaves. Now, okay, so we've picked our cabbage. It's crisp, it's heavy, and its leaves are pretty tight. So you don't want loose leaves when you look for a cabbage. You want one that you can just kind of, it's like laying right on top. There's not any space between the leaves. So this one looks great. Okay, so I've got my cabbage, but I'm not going to be able to cook it tonight or tomorrow. We've got a few things going on and I'm busy. So how do I keep this fresh? Well, easy. What you're going to do is you've got your cabbage. You're going to take Saran wrap. And with your Saran wrap, very simple, you're going to just cover it tightly, like pull it tight so there's not a lot of room between it. And you're going to make sure that it is all covered. So each part of your cabbage is not open to the air. So it's going to be tight like that. You're going to be able to feel the cabbage through this. Okay, now I'm ready to cook it. It's been a couple of days and I'm ready to go ahead and eat my cabbage because I love my cabbage so much. Now, what you're going to do is you're going to take it out of the plastic wrap. Get it out of the plastic wrap here. You're going to remove the outer leaves. Now, to remove the outer leaves, what you're going to do is you're going to pull up on this and then it will just kind of roll back, and it will pop off down here at the bottom. You'll just pop it off. And you'll take off both of those outer leaves, and then you will go ahead and you will wash this with some cool water under the sink to get all of those germs and stuff off before you get it prepared for whatever you're going to use it for. Now, there are multiple ways to be able to do this. So, some people leave the core in until afterwards and they cut around it, or some people cut the core out. Me, I like to leave the core in until I get ready to, I pretty much cut down to the core. It's just easier for me rather than having to risk trying to get the core out. It's a little bit harder. Now, how do you prepare it? Ooh, this is a great question. Now, how many of you have had coleslaw? Yep, coleslaw is cabbage. How many of you have had like egg rolls with like green in them? Cabbage. How many of you have had like roasted vegetables? Yep. So you can have these many different ways. Now, for me, my favorite way is chopping it up till it looks a lot like this. And then I put it in a little pan, a little skillet with some oil, and I fry it up until it's translucent. It's a good way. That's called fried cabbage. Another way I like to have it is I like to make big chunks of it. So like I'll cut down the middle and I'll cut off like big chunks. It looks like a steak almost. They call them cabbage steaks, and you can put those in and you roast them. Put a little olive oil on top of them, put them in the oven around 400 degrees for about 30 to 40 minutes until the cabbage is soft. Really, really good. I love that. Of course, you can get them in soups. So you can kind of chop it up so it's in soups or salads. There's all different kinds of ways you can do that. Definitely cabbage, one of my favorite, most versatile vegetables. I love to use it in a lot of things. And my kids love it as well too, so it's good. Now, as we get ready for our taste test, we've got to do a few things. But first, we're going to get into our taste test mind. Now remember, our taste testing zone is a no yuck zone. So we don't say yuck, we don't make noises that's like gagging noises, things like that. We are going to be very good about this. We're all going to be brave taste testers. Even if you don't think you'll like it, I ask that you please try it if possible. If not, that is okay. But when you do, if you try it and you do not like it, don't spit it out at the table. Get up quietly and go spit it out quietly in the trash can. You can grab a drink and everything like that, and then come back and sit down, and we'll do our voting activity afterwards. But one of the most important things we have to do first before we try our taste test is wash our hands or sanitize them. So if your teacher wants to pause the video so that you guys can go sanitize or wash your hands, we'll get on with our taste testing. All right, welcome back. It is time for our taste test. So if you want to sit down at your tables, and your teacher will have both a head of cabbage that you guys can look at and see and feel, as well as you guys will each have a bag of cabbage. Now this is another way that cabbage comes. You can get it, instead of just the head, you can get it in an already shredded up part that's already a coleslaw mix. Now the one that you have will be already shredded up, but it won't have the carrots in it. It will actually be just cabbage. So just sliced cabbage is what you guys will get. Now, what you guys will do is you guys will each get a piece of our shredded. And what I want you to do is I want you to look at it. What color is it? What does it look like? I'm gonna say mine is green. It's got some like translucent lines down it. It's kind of crumpled a little bit. That's okay. What's it feel like? I'm feeling some smoothness. Occasionally I'm hitting a bumpy spot, but I'm feeling a lot of smoothness in there. Especially if you feel the outside of the cabbage, you'll feel smooth and almost like a It feels waxy, but also there are some bumps in there from the ridges and stuff, and that's okay. So what's it smell like? It smells kind of sweet to me. It smells like almost like lettuce, if you have that. And so it smells good. It smells like outdoors almost as well. Yeah. What are some of the observations that you guys are seeing there? All right. Okay, now, are we ready? We're all going to taste. Remember, we're in the no yuck zone. All right, here we go. Let's try it. It's sweet. It's crunchy. I'm hearing a crunch because as I eat it, it's crunching for me. It's a lot like lettuce, kind of, although it's a little bit sweeter, I'm going to say, than lettuce. Very good. Now, as you know, if you don't like it, you can go ahead and spit it out in the trash can very quietly, grab a drink, and come on back. But cabbage is great in all forms. Like I said, if you don't like it as raw, you can try it as cooked. Now, there are multiple different ways that you can try it cooked, and that is a good thing. So you can get, you can cook it, like I said, steamed, roasted, fry it. There's lots of different ways. You can cook it in a soup. You can eat it just raw, or you can add some dressing to this to make it a coleslaw. There's always something good. For sure. So definitely, if you don't like it this time, try it a different way and try it 7 different ways, because you have to try it 7 times before you know if you like it for sure. All right, now we're voting down. I tried it. I just don't like it. I like it. It's okay. And I love it. I will eat it every day. Okay, so those are how we vote. And on the count of 3, we'll all put our fingers up, our thumbs up, how we like it. So on the count of 3, here we go. 1, 2, 3. Very good. That's okay. I'm seeing some of these and I'm seeing some of these. That's okay. Everyone has their own opinion, and that is great. We don't all have to be like the same thing, just like the Brassica family. There's lots in their family, but they're all different, right? So everything is different, and that's okay. But I hope that if you didn't really like it, that you try it again a different way, because you might like it a different way better. Now, of course, where do we get it? We get it at the supermarket, farmers markets, our backyard, pretty much anywhere we can get our cabbage. Now, why is it good for us? Our defense shield. And why or what ways can we cook it? Yes, lots of different ways. There's no right way or wrong way to cook a cabbage or eat a cabbage, for sure. Now, tonight or a couple days from now, your teacher has your coloring page, your fact sheet, and your family newsletter, as well as your bingo. Friendly reminder, if you bring in at least 1 bingo to your teacher will be letting me know who brings in those bingo sheets, and then you will get a prize, a fun little prize at the end of the school year if you've brought in at least 1 bingo sheet, for sure. So definitely be thinking about those, and I hope you enjoyed our cabbage month for November, and I was really excited to be back in the classrooms with you guys, and I will be back next month with a fruit. Yep, we did vegetable this month, so we will be back in the classroom in December with a fruit. So I will be excited to see you guys in the first part of December. Have a great day and have fun.